The three secrets are: 1. Believe that you can be a CXO. Secret number 2. Don't be the world's best kept secret. Secret number 3. Signal that you're ready to take on higher responsibility. I think all of us carry a responsibility to build the next generation. We've all had our time. I think there's nothing better than working with the next level of leadership so that they can give back and create a world and improve it so that it remains sustainable, and it's a great world that we give back to our children. Thank you. Hi, I'm Udit Saxena. I'm a global leadership coach. I run my own organization. It's called CXO Hive, and we work across the world with leaders from Silicon Valley to the UK to Africa, Asia. This is a show where we help leaders like you who are ambitious, who want to get ahead, who want to move from the mid-career level to actually becoming senior leaders and becoming global CXOs. I'd like to spend the next 30 years shaping and giving back to society so that by the time we all leave this world, we've probably been net givers rather than net takers. I'm accepting this award for every transformed client of mine. When are you going to stop procrastinating and taking action? When are you going to learn what it takes to get that 1 CR salary plus and a great lifestyle and a great future for your children and your dreams of becoming a global CXO, a CTO, a CIO, a CISO, whatever you want to be? Stop procrastinating and sign up quickly for this Global CXO Accelerator Summit. It's the first time in India and it's the only event like this in India. You won't find it. So click on the link below. We have leaders like Sanjay Tandon, who's coming in from Silicon Valley. We have Kalyani, who's been a Chief Accounting Officer for Sun Microsystems and Intap. We have Arvind, who's been the President of Cisco, who's got a number of patents to his name. We have Sri Krishnan, who's the CEO And he's got here to share his story with you. We've got Ram Kumar, who's the EVP for FIS for India and Philippines. All these people are here to share their stories to help you. So stop procrastinating and sign up. Stop sitting on the fence. Change your life. Take charge. I want to see you here on May 3rd and 4th. And when you buy a 2-day pass, you could win, benefits up to 89,000. So click below. Click quickly. Hey, good morning. Just a minute. Hello and welcome everybody. Such a pleasure to have all of you here. It's such a pleasure to see all of you wherever you are from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and we're just so happy to have all of you here. What I'm going to suggest is that, it's such an honor today to have another bright student of mine. We're spending the whole month just showcasing, all our students, and we're so happy to have you here, Anup.
I'm also happy to be back and share my views.
Oh, great. So Anup, what? We're just so happy, Anup, we just got the 40 under 40 data scientist award. So Anup, tell us, how does it feel to get that award, both personally and professionally?
Yeah, it's incredibly humbling and deeply meaningful for me, both personally and professionally. On a personal level, it is a powerful moment of reflection. Right from where I started writing SQL scripts and building data warehouses in my early days to now leading AI initiatives that impact millions across the 200 countries. It's been a journey of continuous learning, growth, and purpose. And professionally also, this award is a strong validation of the belief of AI, when done right, can be truly transformative. It reflects years of aligning data science with business strategy, building high impact solutions, and scaling them across various organizations and various countries. And this award is actually, it also honors leadership, innovation, and responsibility to inspire others. I see it as a shared win for the teams I have worked with, as well as the mentors who have guided me and the people I have had the chance to mentor. And in many ways, it's not the finish line, it's just the beginning. There's much more to do and innovate ethically and to scale responsibility.
Okay, superb, Anup. So, maybe just tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So I am Anup Goenka. I am a proud Hyderabadi, born and brought up here in Hyderabad. I am a big fan of cricket and traveling. And my journey took me to the US to do my Master of Science program in Business Intelligence before I started in the world of data. And I have over 16 years of experience leading large-scale data and AI transformations for companies like Accenture, New York Daily News, United Health Group, and PepsiCo. And now I am serving as a deputy director of data science at PepsiCo. I started my, sorry.
Go ahead.
So I started my career data engineering candidate, but I slowly moved into advanced analytics and AI. So I am really passionate about data and generating insights out of data, which help businesses make better decisions. So I'm always committed in making better business decisions.
Superb. It's such an important part today, and I think it's one of those fields, right, which is really growing, and I think a lot of companies would really benefit, right? A lot of senior leaders who would benefit from this kind of knowledge and this kind of insight. So.
Right.
as we just get along, right? I mean, can you just tell the audience, right? You've been with our Global CXO Accelerator program for a while, and you've been a senior student.
Yeah.
How has the program really helped you, and what is the transformations you've seen?
So I am really fortunate to be part of this global CXO program. And honestly, it has been a game changer for me. One moment that really stood out was from you, the three secrets that you have shared. One was don't be the world best kept secret. That hit me hard, actually. And I was thinking, I have been doing the same work and delivering AI solutions at scale. Only thing that was missing was I was not branding myself. I was not sharing my thought leadership. So then I started sharing my views on data science, AI on LinkedIn, and started sharing my experience. So this really helped me change my mindset, and this platform helped me transform into a more better AI leader.
Superb, superb, Anup. And tell me, it's a bit for the layman, right? I think you're an expert in this field, right? But for a layman, right, a lot of people get confused. What's the difference between data science, AI, and now generative AI, right?
Yes.
How are these fields different? Just explain to our viewers, and how do they work together? Just give us a brief overview.
Yeah, sure. This is a very common question and important question that everyone has a doubt on. So basically, I see data science as a broad discipline that involves statistical analysis, visualization, and modeling. It is more about extracting meaningful insights from data. Artificial intelligence, on the other hand, is about building systems which mimic human behavior, like thinking, learning, reasoning, and decision making. AI relies heavily on data science techniques to build and improve its systems. Whereas, on the other hand, generative AI is a powerful subset of AI. It's not just about predicting, it is more about creating new text, images, or even business plans, anything. In my work, I have moved from building forecasting models to optimizing engines to creating more generative AI applications like meeting summarization tools or interactive forecast assistants. Each of these layer builds on the previous one, but the application and the business impact actually grows exponentially. So this is how you can distinguish data science, artificial intelligence, and generative AI.
Superb, superb. I think for the uninitiated, this is a great way of differentiating things. So thank you so much about that. But tell me what really excites you the most about the future of generative AI.
So generative AI has become a buzzword and everybody is excited about it as it makes advanced tech accessible to everyone. It is not just for data scientists. Now anyone can ask simple, plain English questions and get powerful insights. That's huge for decision making and problem solving. So it is transforming how we work, automating repetitive tasks, speeding up content creation, and personalizing experiences. So we are seeing a real impact in industries like healthcare and finance, where AI is streamlining workflows and saving costs. So, but beyond tech, I love how it is empowering people. You don't need to be super technical to use these tools. They are very intuitive and it's collaborative, and it's opening the doors for many people to create and solve problems and be a part of this AI revolution.
Okay, superb, superb. But tell me, there's so much happening, right?
Yeah.
In this whole field. As far as I know, data science and ML, existed from, maybe the 60s.
1960s. Yes.
And it's now come to the fore, and it's probably because of the computing power.
Computing power. Yes, absolutely.
Everything was being done, and now it's just sort of going crazy, right? So it's amazing. But tell me, there's so much happening, right? Every day we ChatGPT rule the roost, and then now you have so many other models, Perplexity, Claude. I mean, there's no end, and DeepSeek really shaking everybody up, right? So how do
Yes.
you stay on top of all the trends in such a fast-moving field? I mean, tell us a little bit.
For me, staying ahead in AI happens due to the mix of curiosity I have and the structure and community I have built. I dedicate time every week to read articles and research papers. I explore new product releases and I follow certain thought leaders in academia and industry on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And I also attend conferences like NVIDIA GTC, where we get to see emerging trends and real world AI applications. I also had the opportunity to attend the NVIDIA GTC conference last month. So it's not just about actually consuming information, but I also try and apply this with my team, with my business stakeholders, so that I see what I can separate out what is hype and what is a real use case. And I also believe in learning from others, learning with others. I regularly engage in peer groups, my peer groups, and collaborate on various ideas. And we host various knowledge sharing sessions so that we all can learn and be part of this revolution. So we are staying committed and curious to in this AI field to be
Amazing.
abreast with all these things.
That's amazing amount of work. I think, I think AI now is beating lawyers and taxation, people who had to keep learning, right? Because the laws
Yes.
are changing. Uh, but tell us a little bit about the NVIDIA conference. I mean, it's such a great thing. You were in the US. Where were you? What did you learn? Tell us a bit about that.
So NVIDIA conference, as always, it is now termed rightly by Jensen Huang that it is the Super Bowl of AI. So we got to learn many things we got to see what are the latest upcoming computing power uh, from NVIDIA and how various companies are leveraging NVIDIA technology to build these AI robots and artificial intelligence systems, which are helping organizations not only stay ahead of the curve, but also have a competitive edge. And they are helping them build various solutions which people can easily use and which are helping them in their day-to-day life. So I was very excited to see the transformation and the use of AI that other companies are doing. And I have already listed down what I would be implementing at my company in PepsiCo. And we have already started building those solutions now.
Amazing, amazing what one conference can do, right?
Yeah.
One nugget is, I think, is all you need to actually, recover everything that you all the time in the conference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So great. Tell us, I mean, Anup, you have a global career, right? You studied in the US, uh,
Yes.
you worked in New York Times there, you've been with United Healthcare, you worked in a number of global companies and now PepsiCo, right? So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about, firstly, your experience of having worked in all these companies, and then how has it sort of affected your leadership styles?
Yes, I was fortunate to work in these Fortune 50 companies like United Health Group and PepsiCo. This has shaped my leadership style in various powerful ways. So one big lesson that I learned was clarity is everything. Back at United Health Group, I was leading a team of 15 plus data scientists and engineers. And I realized early, if the goals aren't clear, team lose momentum. And when everyone knows the why and what, the how becomes a lot smoother. So, and another one that I have learned is trust building. At PepsiCo, whenever we were building a global forecasting solution, I made to a point that I will not micromanage my resources, but I gave my team the space to explore and innovate and own the process. And what came out of the solution was actually an award-winning uh, tool, which has been adopted across 190 plus countries. So the cash flow projections, cash flow forecasting that has been built is now live in 190 plus countries. So it reinforced how creativity thrives when people feel empowered. And of course, resilience. Not every AI project is a success on the first try. It has an iterative process. We had to iterate and learn fast. This cash flow project, we had to restart 3 times. So that grit and combined with clear communication, especially when translating technical work to non-technical stakeholders, has made all the difference. So these 4 or 5 things of clarity, trust, resilience, and communication, that's the leadership toolkit I carry now with me today.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. So tell me, you worked in the US and now you're working in India, right? What's
Yes.
the difference? What did you find,
Yes.
with
So in the US, it was like I picked up a strong focus on data-driven decision making and efficiency and scaling fast. The pace there was very intense. So you are constantly pushing the boundaries and questioning old ways of doing things and driving innovation. Whereas in India, on the other hand, taught me the power of relationships and collaboration. It's a much more people-centric leadership style that I had to adopt in India. Building trust, aligning teams along these long-term goals, and navigating diverse perspectives, those became just as important as execution speed. Putting together made me a more balanced and adaptable leader. I can now move quickly when needed, but also when to slow down and build an alignment. That's been especially useful when leading global teams and driving impact across different cultures.
So that's amazing. I mean, you've, tried to integrate obviously the best of the West and the East,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah, so that's amazing. I think it's so great. On this happy note, let's just take a little break for a, couple of minutes and we'll be right back. Yeah.
Sure.
Hi, have you heard of the Global CXO Accelerator Summit that's happening right here in Bengaluru on May 3rd and May 4th? What? You haven't? It's a 7-day summit, 5 days of learning online, 2 days of learning live from the world's best. We have leaders coming in from Silicon Valley, Sanjay Tandon, who's been the Global Director of Applied Materials Corporation, Kalyani, who's been the Chief Accounting Officer for Sun Microsystems. We have Sri Krishnan, who's the CEO here of Karnataka Bank and, earlier with Yes Bank. We have Ram Kumar, who's an EVP and who's been here with FIS and he heads the India and Philippines operations. We have Pradipto, we have Arvind Sitaraman, who's been the president of Cisco earlier. Come and learn from the world's best because they will tell you about the mistakes you made. They will tell you about what helped them succeed. Learn from leaders who've done it. Stop wasting your time, aimlessly wandering around social media from WhatsApp University. Learn from the world's best. So click on the link below. It's May 3rd and 4th. See you there. Book your early bird tickets. And when you book a 2-day pass, you could win benefits up to 89,000. See you in Bengaluru. Okay, so all of you who are watching here, I'm going to sort of look forward to seeing you at our Global CXO Accelerator Summit. You can get a chance to meet, Anup as well, who'll be there in person, and a whole lot of people in the community. So, it'll be great to have all of you there. And I'm going to request my team to just put in the link in the chat box. And, please feel free to sign up and I'll see you in a few days. Yeah. So great, Anup, welcome you back, right? You worked, both in innovation, right? In fast growing as well as regulated industries, right? I guess healthcare is probably one of them, right?
Correct. Yeah.
How do you balance, taking risks and being, innovative, right? Both things need to go hand in hand.
Absolutely. So for me, innovation isn't about taking wild risk. It is more about smart, structured experimentation. I look at that way. I like to think it is more of pushing the boundaries with a safety net. The way I approach is pretty simple. I want to know the constraints and move fast with pilot projects, validate early and fail fast, or we only then scale when it truly have shown a value. So one example that really stood out was in the UK market, there was a law coming for high fat, sugar, and salt products, which PepsiCo has. So on the product placement, so we worked with the compliance team. We had strict regulations coming in on the product placement. So I had to find innovative ways to place these products and also see that we are not losing out on our revenue. So I built a system and we optimized the product placement in such a way that we were able to eventually improve our sales at those stores almost by 10%. So this helped me in balancing creativity and the control that we were asked to be in. So I feel innovation is more about experimenting and creating a space where teams can take bold ideas, but with clarity, accountability, and purpose.
Superb, superb, yeah. And it's really amazing, right? Because this itself is a new field, right? Anything that you do here is creating new ground, right?
Absolutely.
And what's the kind of environment you create amongst your team, right, to really help them innovate, especially in really big companies? What would you do?
So for me, creating an environment for my team is pretty important, wherein they can truly innovate, especially within large organization. I start by creating a psychological safety and give them a clarity of purpose. Teams need to feel safe to experiment, fail, and learn without fear of blame. And I create this space by setting the tone right from the top, encouraging them to take bold steps, bold thinking, and celebrate both learning as well as from the failures as well as wins, and making it clear that iteration is part of the innovation process. And next, I try and reduce the friction that we see, particularly in some big companies, wherein so I try to avoid these or remove these obstacles, where I try to streamline the process of getting access to the data, simplifying the approval process, and I give my team and the right tools and the right infrastructure to build the prototypes, and which would help them to move from idea to the impact with agility. So finally, I connect innovation to the business value, and I encourage my team to focus more on real problems worth solving rather than the ones which are more technically exciting. So we try and co-create these solutions with our business partners and run fast pilots. And only if we see an impact, then only we try and scale it to the entire world.
So amazing. I mean, you brought in a very relevant point, right? Typically, data science and AI guys are all very geeky, right?
Yeah,
And they love to work on technical stuff, right? Stuff that
absolutely.
challenges you and, maybe at the cutting edge. And then you've got to bring in that balance with commercial value, right?
Yes,
So I
absolutely.
think you brought in a very, very important point as to how you need to blend both,
Absolutely.
right? So great. Let's just see, you built and scaled data science teams at United Health Group, right? And even PepsiCo. And now
Absolutely.
you're really working a lot more on the AI front, right? So what's your real approach to building strong, high-performing AI teams?
So the approach that I've taken is building these high performing teams first started with a clear purpose of the goal. At United Health Group, I created a team focused more on healthcare optimization. I, by first understanding the business challenges from our stakeholders, and then we co-created these AI solutions with a mix of internal upskilling from the employees we already had. I had upskilled them to these big data and AI systems. And also we did an external hiring so that we are in a position to solve these business challenges. Then at PepsiCo, the global scale required a strong cross-functional partnerships. So especially with the commercial and the supply chain teams, it taught me that building a great team isn't about technical skills. It's about aligning to the outcome and having a sense of purpose. Lastly, then I prioritize a culture of ownership and continuous learning. And I give my team the room to innovate, celebrate both wins and learnings, and ensure there is a strong connection with the stakeholders so that we are on a way to driving this transformation.
Yeah, amazing. And I must actually, congratulate your organization too, right, for believing in
Absolutely.
data science and AI. I know these are buzzwords, but how do you commercially justify this, right? I mean, and to show your relevance. Uh,
Absolutely.
so I guess it probably isn't easy leading these high pressure AI projects, right? So how do you keep your teams motivated and focus on what really matters and when the stakes are really high?
Yes, you are absolutely right. We have a high pressure environment sometimes in these AI projects, but th- they really test our performance and patience. But I believe pressure doesn't always lead to burnout. It can lead to various breakthroughs, especially when the teams feel supported, aligned, and empowered. First off, I always make sure the why is clear. For me, clarity is very important. When teams understand the bigger picture, like how a forecasting model can improve supply chain resilience, or how a optimization engine can save millions of dollars, they stay connected to the impact. And that motivates them to keep on going. Next, I try to create a culture of psychological safety. I want teams to feel comfortable experimenting, speaking up, and iterating without fear of blame. So we celebrate even a small win so that and we recognize, and this recognition doesn't need to be wait till the end. I ensure that my team is recognized for every milestone and every progress that we make towards building the solution. And lastly, I stay engaged as a leader. It's not just about reviewing their work formally. I also make time for regular check-ins, have informal conversations, coffee chats, and have problem solving sessions together. And this visible leadership actually builds trust, and this trust actually fuels resilience.
Superb, superb, Anu. It's such a new area, right? Imagine it's like building a rocket. Now, obviously, to the moon, right? Now, things aren't always going to go well, and they're not
Absolutely.
going to go to plan. So, tell me a time, when project didn't get delivered as or didn't go as expected. Like, what did you learn, and what was your experience? How do you manage the team at that time?
Absolutely. So one of my most important leadership came early in my career at United Health Group. So we were rolling out a new big data solution at UHG that was technically sound, accurate, scalable, and well engineered. But we underestimated stakeholder alignment, especially with the operations leader who was the user of that system. So because we didn't involve them early during the design phase, there was resistance and the adoption stalled. Not due to the tech, but because we missed the chance to build the trust and the shared ownership. That experience actually showed us, that experience actually changed me. I started involving my stakeholders right from the design phase so that they are much more involved and they help us in co-creating this solution. Even if it is a small POC or a big AI project, I make sure that they are there from day one. So it also taught me the power of communication. We went back, rebuilt the trust, integrated the user feedback, and eventually scaled that solution. So, but more importantly, I feel inclusion drives adoption. And this great leadership lesson that I learned is just about isn't just about delivering solution, but it is about bringing people together with you.
Hmm. And it's so critical, right? I mean, just think, there's no historical proven ground here, right?
Yes,
You're creating stuff that's absolutely new. So you bring in a very relevant point. In any project, it's so important to bring in stakeholders right up front.
yes.
Otherwise, you make, a fantastic car that just can't be driven.
No users.
That's so true, right? And you tell me you've done a lot of work, right? I'm sure as you're building this in this greenfield industry, you must have mentored, so many leaders and across the world, because it's all growing, and there is no history and there's no evidence, right? In terms of, so how do you make, one is, just tell us about your experience of building these leaders. Maybe we'll learn something from there.
So basically, I like to democratize AI. So this is the most fulfilling aspect of my career and my leadership journey. So, and at PepsiCo, I have led a technical enablement program for over 100 global business leaders, not just to turn them into coders or data scientists, but to help them think like data scientists. I have found that storytelling is actually the bridge between the business users and the data scientists. I use relatable analogies in real business scenarios. So instead of diving deep into the clustering equation, I used to explain them through the lens of customer segmentation, or how do you group various stores for pricing optimization. So it is about shifting the conversation from how the model works to what business problem it solves. Then the light bulb goes on for the business users. So, and there are various tools that I have built for the business leaders to be able to interact with these AI systems using plain English language, which would help them and be ready with all the data they need for making better decisions. So,
Superb. Superb. Yeah, go on.
yes. So that's what. So it is more about the mindset that these leaders need to change. So now, after having these sessions, they started coming with their own AI use cases, and they asked us to build many more projects for them. So it helped us in creating a more data centric culture within this organization.
Yeah. So, in the early days, first they used to have finance for non-finance, right?
Yes.
Let's take a similar example here. How do you make AI concepts, simple for non-tech teams to understand?
Right. So I try to simplify in layman terms, as just as I mentioned,
Yeah.
in order, rather than our conversation should shift from rather than what the model does, it should be in terms of business terms. How does it impact the business? How can this technology help business in solving better decisions? So using various, so over a period of time, this is not actually, this doesn't come naturally. So you have to keep on working on this to be able to simplify things for the business stakeholders, because they would not understand all the AI jargon that we have. So I have worked on myself to simplify these complex topics so that these business stakeholders can understand these terms and these usages easily.
Amazing, amazing. I think it's really must be, quite a task, right, to get people
Absolutely.
involved and getting that buy-in. And I'm just so happy, it's good to see that progressive organizations like Pepsi, even though they're consumer product companies, right, and
Yes.
they've adopted, and I think they've done that. So fantastic. And on this note, let's just take a little break, and we'll get back again. Yeah.
Sure.
Hi. Do you want to know how leaders who were born, bred in India have made it finally globally on that stage? Do you want to learn the secrets that might have helped Sundar Pichai or Satya Nadella really get up right there to becoming global heads of organizations? If you want to learn all that, then you better learn from global leaders. We have Sanjay Tandon coming in from Silicon Valley. We have Kalyani, who's been the Chief Accounting Officer for Sun Microsystems. We have Sri Krishnan, who's the CEO here in Karnataka Bank. We have Ram Kumar, who's been here as the head of FIS for India and Philippines. We have so many leaders right here who will share their stories, give you tips. So you need to sign up quickly for May 3rd and May 4th, which is the Global CXO Accelerator Summit. And it's happening right here in Bengaluru. So wherever you are, whichever city, book your tickets and see you here, because we're going to have a 7-day event, 5 days online and 2 days live. And when you book your 2-day pass, you could win gifts up to 89,000. So click on the link below and I'll see you there. Okay, fantastic. For those of you who've tuned in late, and have missed some part of it, just to remind you, we're having a fantastic Global CXO Accelerator Summit on the 3rd and 4th. So I'm going to request my team to put the links in there. And if you're interested, just sign up. And, it'll be a great opportunity to meet you. I mean, come and meet Anup,
Yes.
and learn from him. So I'll see you there. Hopefully, a lot of you who I can see on the show. Great. So let's move on to another segment, in terms of you're actually working on new ground. This didn't exist at all, right? And today it's such a buzzword that, it comes amongst the top 3 trends, right? So data science, AI is one of them, cybersecurity is one of them, and quantum computing, right? These are the top 3 trends that seem to be going. So when you look for building a team, right? So you have all these eager people, who probably just got out of college, studied, etc. But tell me, when you hire, let's say for your entire enterprise level AI teams, what qualities and skills do you really prioritize apart from technical expertise?
Yeah. So at these enterprises level, right, we try to see beyond the technical skills. So what really sets us a great AI professional is not just his coding skills, but his problem solving ability. So first thing I look is for problem solving. Can people solve problems given a situation? So I test that. And I also test, can they relate to what work they have done and what impact did it lead to in the organization? So for me, problem solving communication is another key tool that I see. Are they able to explain these complex models clearly to non-technical stakeholders? Because this would eventually help them in adopting their tool. So, and I also see whether do they collaborate with other team members? Because AI is a team sport. So some of our best innovations have come from cross-functional brainstorming sessions, not by just solo coding. So I see the curiosity and the growth mindset in such a fast evolving field. So in short, I see business empathy, storytelling, collaboration, curiosity, and problem solving ability, apart from these technical skills in building AI teams at enterprise level.
Superb, superb. So I heard that, you look for problem solving, you look for that curiosity, you look for that ability to collaborate, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah. So let me just say, today I'm sure this field is inspiring so many people into an AI career, right? So somebody who's starting off, what do you think, and they want to become an AI leader, right? What do you think should be, what should they be looking out to become an AI leader? What's your advice?
So if you are aiming to become an AI leader, my advice is simple. start with strong foundational technical foundation. So we need to master the fundamentals like mathematics, programming, and machine learning, and then apply these skills to real world problems and stay curious on what's happening in the world because AI is moving fast. So keeping up with the latest trends is very crucial. But it's not just about technical expertise. We need to focus more on problem solving and how AI can address real world business challenges. So great AI leaders should understand to create real business values, not just technical solutions. Collaborating with cross-functional teams will help them see the bigger picture and broaden the impact. Lastly, we need to work on leadership and communication skills early. AI leadership is about inspiring teams, simplifying complex ideas, and aligning our work with business goals. So we just don't have to wait for titles, or we just have to lead by solving problems and making an impact. And I also believe that mentorship is key. I've learned so much from my mentors, and I encourage everyone to find great mentors. And Mudit sir is one of the great mentors.
No, thank you for your very kind words. I'm not the expert on AI. I can only help you in other.
Yes, leadership skills. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for that. But most importantly, today a lot of people might want to reinvent themselves, right? In terms of
Right.
getting into an AI career also. So let's say somebody with a non-tech background, what's your advice? Is it too late to start?
I feel that it's definitely not late to break into AI. Anyone can break into AI, even with a non-tech background. AI is not about coding because now you have AI systems which can build codes accurately. So it's more about thinking creatively and bringing your unique perspective. This becomes a big advantage of bringing your unique perspective. So, and I have trained over various hundreds of leaders in PepsiCo who had very less technical expertise. So I helped them become citizen data scientists by enabling them with various tools, self-service tools, which are very intuitive and help them take the right approach. And we need to start by identifying what are the transferable skills that has already been developed, like problem solving or communication or your domain expertise. So, for example, a healthcare background professional can lead into a medical AI system, and a medical marketing background could specialize in AI customer insights. So, these are transferable skills. So, domain knowledge is very important in AI. So, building a foundation in Python and machine learning through some online resources and applying these skills in your domain will be a game changer. And lastly, as this field is ever evolving, I want people to stay curious, keep learning, and stay updated, and always seek for mentorship because your non-technical background requires someone who has already walked that path. So I would encourage such people to have mentors who have already walked that path.
Superb, superb. I think good advice. So it's not too late. And I think you brought out a very relevant part that, AI is applicable in all areas of your life. So
Absolutely.
whether you're in marketing or maybe you're in sales or in product development, just understanding some basics can help you really leverage it. So I think that's a fantastic insight because, very often people think that it's probably a very geeky thing to do
No,
rather than using. So that's great. So tell me, I mean, for people you've interviewed and you've built so many teams, right? Thousands of people from the US to India. What do you look for truly when hire to build a team, right? What are you looking for hiring for AI data science roles? Just
so
beyond, yeah.
yes. So I, apart from the resume, I look for clarity of thought. For me, clarity is very important. And as I mentioned, problem solving ability and communication. Can they explain a business stakeholder the machine learning model that has been built? Do they understand and when to use a particular technique? I value storytelling because it helps you communicate easily with your business stakeholders. Can the candidate walk through a project from idea to the impact? And I also look for collaboration and curiosity. And lastly, I look for people who have grit, because AI projects are not always successful in the first iteration. You need to keep on iterating, and there would be setbacks, but you need to be resilient and come up with newer ideas and solve these business problems. So I look for people who have good resilience, good collaboration skills, and problem solving ability.
Amazing. I think you brought in a very important part, because since it's all generative, or you're evolving, or you're constantly building upon something to get an idea, right? It doesn't come out right in the first.
Right.
Tell us, can you give us one example, of how this has evolved, right? When you started working and it didn't work out, and then what did you do, and how did you finally get a model out?
So as I mentioned, we had rolled out the cash flow projection for forecasting for 190 plus countries. That project took us almost 2.5, 3 years. We had to restart the project 3 times. So the first time, it was not a scalable solution. We could not scale to 190 plus countries because the model was taking more than 7 weeks to run for a single country. So even with high compute power, so we had to bring in, then in the second iteration, we started with building certain frameworks which would help in leveraging the code, as well as bring in certain efficiencies in the code, which would help reduce these runtime. But that also brought us to at least 3 days for a single countries. Then we started, then in the third iteration, we actually built a global model. Rather than focusing first on one country, we took the data of all 190 plus countries and started building one simple single model, which will be accurate, at least with 70 to 80% accuracy. And we started building that simple model for all the 190 plus countries. And we had seen that within 3 days, we were able to actually generate the complete forecast for all 90 plus countries with a good accuracy. Then we later started certain techniques like hyperparameter tuning and all, so that we can increase our accuracy. Then we focused on improving accuracy. First, we focused on building the solution for all the countries. Then we focused on improving that solution. So it always AI always involves a lot of iterations to build the right solution, build the solution which is more accurate, usable, and scalable.
Yeah, I think you brought out a very important point, right? First, get something there, then make it get scalable, and then, finally, because I guess the cost of, running that, it will at the ultimately decide, right, whether it's usable by more people or not.
Correct.
And then keep improving for accuracy, right? So it's amazing. I mean, tell me, how do you do a parallel check, right? So let me just say, from a non-technical person, I'm just asking a question, right? So when you make a model, do you run a parallel manual check to see whether it's, how do you check whether what you're developing, right? It could be a monster.
Absolutely.
So,
So these forecasts are actually being developed by manual forecasters. So these cash flow projections, there is a financial planning team who actually use Excel to make these forecasts. So we are trying to replicate their work and build a more accurate system of what they do, so that AI can be trained on the work that these manual forecasters are doing, and we can automate the work that these manual forecasters are doing. Now we have a benchmark of the forecast that has been built by these manual forecasters, and what is the accuracy that a AI model is giving. We then compare these accuracies and find out whether the human accuracy is better or an AI accuracy is better. And eventually we try and tweak our AI model to beat the manual or the human accuracy. So this is how we try and iterate and always have a benchmark against which we want to improve.
Amazing, amazing. Just one other question, which
Yeah.
is coming into my mind, right? You probably need a bit of data to train the model, right?
Absolutely.
I remember back in the days, even neural networks were being trained.
Yes.
Kind of data to give that. Is that still happening? I mean, do you work on?
Absolutely. All these systems, AI systems, are built on neural networks.
Oh, okay.
These are called artificial neural networks, and basically you try and mimic the human behavior in these models. So we do use neural networks and various other deep learning techniques to build these AI systems. Deep learning as a
Amazing.
field has started only because of neural networks.
Oh, okay. I think that's quite an explanation that you've given us. So at this time, let's just take a quick break. Yeah. And we'll come back in a minute or two.
Hi, Bangalore. This is Sanjay Tandon from beautiful Silicon Valley. Looking forward to being there at the May 3rd and 4th CXO Summit with Dr. Mudit Saxena. I'll be sharing tips and tricks of how to be successful in your professional life. So be there.
Wow, such an apt message, from Sanjay Tandon, and he's looking forward to meet all of you at our Global CXO Accelerator Summit. So, like he said, just be there and get to meet him in person, and let's all learn from what's happening in Silicon Valley. And I'm sure, Anup, you'll have a lot of questions for him too, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's move on a little bit. We've seen Anup, the winner of the data scientist. We've seen how he builds teams, your leadership styles, etc. Let's get to know Anup a little bit on the personal side, right? So tell me, when you're not working, what do you do? What hobbies you have, or how do you sort of keep yourself occupied?
So I really believe that life outside work is just as important to stay balanced and inspired. I love traveling and exploring new cultures. It gives me fresh perspective that actually helps in creative thinking at work, actually. And most importantly, I cherish my time spending my time with my family. Apart from that, I am also an avid cricket fan. I love watching cricket, especially the test matches. And and sometimes I play to relax myself. And over the last couple of years, I have developed a keen interest in smart investing. I like to learn how stock market works, how do we invest in stocks, and also how are these emerging markets working in the global financial system, and where do I need to invest my money so that I can grow. And more recently, I have developed and during my free time, I try to learn about astrology and numerology because they are also related to data science. It helps me understand myself better.
That's
So
amazing. I got out a phenomenal point there, astrology, right? I mean, I'm just saying, because it's finally crunching of data and
it's
stars.
actually making insights out of it. Yeah.
Yes, this is completely fascinating. How do you relate, your data science to that? Tell us a little bit about this.
So I recently started. So in back in October month, I enrolled in a numerology course wherein this I learned that numerology is actually data science. You try to find out characteristics of people based on their date of births, and they have collected data of thousands and thousands of people with their date of births, and they were able to find using data science technique, then they were able to find these insights that people with who are born on one are generally a born leaders. So there are techniques to each and every so basically they have found insights which relates to the population with their date of birth. So it started intriguing me how data science is being also used in numerology and astrology, and how are they able to make these characteristic distinctions for based on your date of birth.
Amazing, amazing. So maybe we should see how your calculations match with, one traditional astrologer, numerologist to see
Yes.
if it does, right? Amazing. So it's so important that you bring out this, because I think the principles are absolutely the same, right? And with the
Yeah.
so great. So tell me, 40 under 40, and now you still have, a life ahead of you. So what's next for you, Anup? I mean, what do you want to do?
So I am excited to lead the next wave of ready AI solutions. So which aren't just innovative, but I want them to be trusted, adopted, ethical, and which are truly impactful. And my focus is on moving these generative AI from the lab to the large scale deployment. And I see it as a huge opportunity to unlock knowledge and transform decision making. And this would also help in driving measurable outcomes across industries, whether it's revolutionizing these demand forecasting or smarter automations. I'm passionate about creating these AI solutions that deliver real business value. And I'm also excited that I'll be coming to Bangalore and be part of the global CXO Accelerator Summit on the 3rd and 4th of May. And after that, I'll be planning a vacation, as it would be my daughter's summer vacation. Summer holidays are coming.
Superb, superb. So I'm going to tell everybody, if you want to meet, Anup and learn a bit about data science from him, just come in and, meet him at the summit, and we'll all look forward to having you. And before we move on to the next section of questions, I saw a lot of questions popping in. I'm going to request you put them back in again, because I don't know what the chat has been, so I don't miss them. So get your questions ready, put them in the chat, and we'll be back after a short break. Do you want to build a network of leaders who can get you your next job? Do you want to meet with managing directors, presidents, chief accounting officers, global directors, people who have made it in life, people who have achieved the heights in corporate success? Well, if that's the network you want to bring, then I'm going to encourage you to sign up for our Global CXO Accelerator Masterclass, which is going to happen on May 3rd. But you know what? It's actually a 7-day program. 5 days is online and 2 days live in Bangalore. So sign up below and I'll see you there at the summit. Hi, I'm Mudit Saxena. I'm a global CXO leadership coach. I help leaders like you get to 1 CR plus salaries on their way to becoming a global CXO. So I can't wait to meet you there, because I brought this masterclass so that you can succeed. So if you want to succeed, sign up below and I'll see you there. Okay, welcome back everybody, and let's take some questions. Suman has had his hand up right at the beginning of the class. So Suman, you want to put your question in the chat?
Sir, can I ask here, sir?
Yeah, I know you've been dying to. Okay, go ahead.
First of all, good afternoon, sir, and thank you so much for this beautiful session, sir. I'm very grateful and thankful. And thank you, Goenka sir, for coming us in the weekend and give your valuable time to us. So my question is, I'm one of the aspiration of data science, and currently I'm working as a solution architect in Accenture. So being a solution architect, I would like to understand, sir, what is the next challenge for being a data scientist? Because the AI is moving so rapidly, so fast, and even the China market, shows that the how DeepSeek can make something that's larger than life in the upcoming world. So can you guide us, sir, and to make the career start from the beginning? Though I don't have the background of data science, but yeah, I know how the things is going to be work out, how need to be prepared for the better career. Thank you so much.
Right. So as I mentioned earlier, right, anyone with even with non-technical backgrounds can come into AI and data science field. You just need to identify your transferable skills. As you mentioned, you are a solution architect. You can then architect. Now you can, so as an architect, you know how the different components within the architecture works. Same thing, you need to apply it in data science architectural solutions. So you can build data science, you can architect these data science solutions just by understanding what are the components that you require to build these AI systems. So where do you want to get your source data from? What tools do you want to use to apply machine learning and various data science techniques on them? And where do you want to store that data, the process data, and those results? How do you want to visualize, make insights out of it? So you can build that complete solution architect. You can architect this solution just by learning the life cycle of this data science program, data science applications. Then you would be able to clearly move a transition from a traditional software solution architecture to a architecting data science solutions.
Okay, great. So thanks a lot. And let's move on to the next question. So Mahesh has a question, right? What should be the approach or framework to be adopted to identify critical AI cases in your company which has the utility for the long term?
Absolutely. So even in PepsiCo, right, we have something called Next Big Idea, and wherein we crowdsource ideas from various departments, from various people on what business problems are they facing. Can we understand what are the business challenges each and every department is facing? And then we can have focused sessions on understanding those business challenges. We can then brainstorm on how we can approach to solve these business problems, and then prioritize which out those crowdsource idea, which are the ones which are important and which would have high impact. We can then focus on those ideas and start working on them. So there are various approaches to finding out these critical AI use cases within the company. Crowdsourcing is one of the best way, I would feel.
Super, super. So let's go to who's asking, core AI ML model tuning skills are getting lost. People are spearheading towards generative AI. How do we tackle this?
So even so, I feel they are not getting lost. Even your generative AI LLM tools require these model tuning skills. Without tuning, your AI output will not be good enough. You need these model tuning ability skills to even tune your generative AI models. So I feel they would still be there. And in the background, generative AI uses these machine learning algorithms, which you need to tune.
Okay, great. So Sheetal wants to know, these days we talk more of generative AI or acceptance of test-driven development, right? How much is it really required to develop then? Is it more of integration than core development? Can you go ahead? The question.
Yeah, in any AI solution and data science solution, right, your majority of your time goes in collecting the right data, structuring it in the right format, pre-processing that data. Almost 70% of your time goes in data integration and making the data ready for analyzing. and building on which you can start building your machine learning algorithms. So I feel data engineering part is also very important, where you spend almost 70% of your time in building these solutions.
Okay, so Suraj wants to know what are the KPIs, which an enterprise like Pepsi uses to gauge success of AI initiative?
So there are many things. So we see what impact does it impact our top line or bottom line, or help in improving the net promoter score. There are apart from, so basically companies are interested in knowing whether it is helping me increase my revenue or increase my profit or reduce my cost. So based on these KPIs, AI models are so we try and find out what is the impact of these AI models. How accurate are these AI models? They need to be accurate to be able to be deployed in the system in various markets.
Okay, so Rakesh wants to know, today organizations are focusing on AI agents and building agentic AI platforms.
Yes.
Your take on agentic AI technology which is emerging, and what use cases should be picked during, using agentic AI?
So agentic AI is the buzzword for this year, 2025. Generative AI was for 2 to 3 years back. Now is the time for agentic AI. All organizations have started building agentic AI. They are still evaluating which are the systems and which are the systems that can be moved into agentic AI. What are the frameworks? And so there are various technologies and various open source tools as well as enterprise tools which can help us build these agentic AI solutions. So we are still figuring out and we are still working on building these agentic AI solutions. So every organization is still considering, they are still in the lab. Agentic AI has not been moved to production or at an enterprise scale, but everyone is working towards agentic AI, which would help basically streamline your generative AI solutions.
Okay, do you want to just explain to everybody what is agentic AI for those who are uninitiated?
So agentic AI is about agents. So you try and create various agents which in itself are performing an AI task, and you want to streamline these AI tasks in a sequence or give a brain to them so that they follow a structured pattern and eventually lead to a structured result that you wanted. So it is about leveraging various agents and building a complete output for out of it.
Okay. Super, super, super. A lot of questions coming in, buzzing into the chat. And before we get in, towards the last, section of our thing, let's just take a quick break and then we'll just ask you a few more personal questions.
Hi, this is Sanjay Tandon from beautiful Silicon Valley. Kalyani and I are looking forward to being there in Bangalore on May 3rd and 4th at the CXO Summit with Dr. Mudit Saxena. We'll be sharing tips and tricks on how to be successful in your professional career. So be there.
Okay, as we come back, the last one, just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, Kalyani was the Chief Accounting Officer for Sun Microsystems in the US. I mean, you can't get more blue-blooded than that. She's also coming down for the summit. And then she went on to take a startup called Intap to NASDAQ. And, she's going to have some amazing insights. And let me just reveal a little bit. She actually did an art subject in Cambridge before she went on to take on accounting. So I think it's such a example, right, that you're talking of people coming from out of the field to do things. Yeah. So great. As we end up, just looking back on your life, there's still a lot ahead. But what do you see? Firstly, the three things that you'd like to share, or one takeaway that you want to share with everybody here.
One takeaway I want to give is have clarity have clear goals, then only you will be able to achieve them. And Dr. Mudit sir help us with that. Setting these goals right, then only you will be able to achieve it.
Okay.
Have clarity in life.
That was the I hope that's helping you, Anup, and everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, looking at what trends do you see, coming up in generative AI, and what do you see? Let's say if we give you a little crystal ball,
Yeah.
what do you think is going to happen?
So using generative AI, now we are also trying to replace even data scientists on the technologies that we are working. So basically, we have built foundation models for time series forecasting, so which doesn't require a data scientist to tune them. It will give you the accurate forecast out of the box, which are pre-trained models. So the AI field is actually uh, disturbing every department everywhere, and it is trying to automate and making people more productive, and everyone would be affected by AI, but the person who knows how to use AI will only last, and how to leverage AI will only succeed.
Superb, superb. Great. Looking forward into the future. I mean, we see driverless cars. We're going to have a lot of things happening. And, where do you see? I mean, this is like a sci-fi question, right? Completely out of,
Yeah.
but I'm
So
sure you.
now, people, we used to spend a lot of money in creating ads. Now AI can create ads very easily. So there are many things evolving. So I feel you would have already, you have seen now robots coming, you can interact with them. There are many things that will happen even in the future. Everyone would have a robot in their home going forward.
Yeah, but here's the question, right? So you probably any repetitive task, right? Obviously, a machine can do much faster. And now you're trying to bring in, we've seen enough robots, and they're trying to be given, as much, for
Right.
human look, feel, everything. Now, do you really? I mean, this is not a question that just a friendly question, right? Do you really see that? We are building the finest robots, right? I mean, how do you see coexistence? Do you think, with their ability to compute and everything, they're far ahead of human beings, right? So, what do you see the future as between, human beings and robots? Just your take on it.
So rather in some companies, we would going forward see only AI robots, AI agents, and not employees. And it is only in the CEO, and you would have an entire team of AI agents. That's it.
Oh my God, that's not good news for going ahead. But I think it's great news for a lot of people. I really think the government needs to be, giving everybody money so that if all the repetitive tasks can be done by, other people faster, then
Yeah.
we need to keep humans engaged.
Right.
That's my take. And so thank you so much, everybody. I can't see any more questions. Yeah. So Suraj says, when will there be a time where robots will attend and speak at conferences instead of human beings?
Very soon, very soon.
Uh, so Suraj, get on to as many conferences as you can before that time happens, right? And of course, we're going to be having Suraj next week, hopefully, and many more of you from the community. It's such a pleasure. Nothing gives me more joy than to see my own students, really shine and do well. So, Anup, really, really want to thank you for all the work, your contribution to the committee and community, and really wish you all the very best. We want to see you at the edge, cutting edge of AI, and God be with you. Yeah. So,
Thanks a lot.
and goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you again next week with Suraj.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mudit sir.
Thank Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so
Thanks,
much
sir.
for taking out time. Thank you.